my literary luminaries, and welcome back to another Tuesday Talks. This week's topic is, do you have any buzzwords or triggers that determine what books you do or don't buy? And honestly, I can't think of any specific words that I would see and be like, yes, I want that book, or no, get off my shelf. I mean, okay, so I've talked, I think, before about the fact that I get daily emails from BookBub telling me about free or discounted books. And there are a lot of romances in there, which is fine. I've started reading more romances. I enjoy them. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, whatever. And I can usually tell by the title, but if especially in the description, it becomes apparent that we are talking about shifters, usually wolves, I skip over it. Which is funny, given that my main book is sort of in that same genre, I guess. There are creatures that look like vampires and werewolves in Revolution. But I think the problem that I have with romances that deal with shifters is that inevitably they call very strongly on the animal aspect of the character to determine their actions in the romance. So these are all alpha male wolves. And I find that trope incredibly tiring. There's nothing wrong with an alpha male. I have plenty of alpha male characters that, they're strong, this is what they do, all the things that we consider that sort of thing. But when you take it to such an extreme that, not only is this an alpha male, the term used for humans of that temperament, this is literally the alpha male of a pack. And I've read enough books with wolves and whatnot in them, real, actual, non-shifter wolves, to know that an alpha wolf is not necessarily who I want to be dating. Maybe that's just me, though. And more often than not, it's less a buzzword, I guess, and I suppose this would be considered a trigger then. But it turns into the way something sounds, the way something is written. If I start reading the blurb, and this goes to show how important blurbs can be, and I don't think I've written my blog post on it yet, but I have one in my head that will probably come up sometime later this month, about how bad blurbs literally will have me turn away from books that otherwise sounded interesting. Because I've noticed the blurb from BookBub and the blurb that shows up on Amazon are not necessarily the same thing, and in fact, they're almost never the same thing. And if it sounds interesting on BookBub, I'll click on the Amazon link and go and read it on the main page. There have been times when the BookBub blurb sounded interesting, but the blurb on Amazon was so bad that I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter that the book is free. I don't want it. I don't want it taking up room on my Kindle. I don't care. No. If you're not going to put effort into your blurb, then I'm not going to read your book. I guess that's my trigger, is that whether or not the blurb actually makes the book sound interesting. It's why I have such trouble describing any of my books, because I'm not sure my blurbs ever really sound interesting. I'm doing this a lot in this video. That's my opinion then, I don't know. But, generally there are words that'll get my attention. I've commented that if you say your book is a dystopia, I'm generally interested in seeing what you've got going on there. I would be interested, honestly, I'd be interested in this point, given how much of our writing and reading culture has been affected by dystopias lately. I'd like to see someone write something in which they consider their world to be a utopia. It would probably end up being dystopian in the sort of backwards sense, but that would be interesting now that I think about it. See, that would get my attention. Things that don't match the norm get my attention. And occasionally things that do. Dystopians are all over the place nowadays, but I still like them. I came across, what was the name of the book? The Institute by Kayla Howarth. I don't know how she says her name, sorry. And actually, I think the review of that one went up on my blog at the end of August, on like the 24th or so. I think it was that Wednesday. And I really enjoyed it. Like, that was a dystopia, essentially, and it had some interesting stuff. It's not, the best book in the world, but what really is? So, I mean, you can do a lot of things and still get my attention, even if you're the most common theme in the world. So I suppose my trigger really is the blurb. Like, you have to make the blurb interesting. You have to put a lot of effort there, because you can have all the normal buzzwords that I hate, but if you make the book sound interesting enough, I will still get it. So that's my opinion on the matter. I don't know if any of that made sense. I've got these written down. You'd think I'd have a better plan by now, but you guys know me by now. We've been doing this for a year. I don't have plans for these videos. But let me know, what are some triggers or buzzwords or whatnot that determine whether or not you're going to buy a book? Let me know in the comments down below or on Twitter at KRIanFrey. As always, I'd love to hear from you. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It is very much appreciated. And hey, if you're new around here and you like what you see, why not subscribe? YouTube will very kindly notify you anytime that I put up a new video, which should be at least every Tuesday and Thursday. But until next time, I will bid you all adieu, and I will see you again on Thursday for another Top 5 Thursday. Bye! I'm kind of interested by this whole concept of, like, intros and outros. It's like, I watch a lot of Let's Players, and, there's people go up and they'll meet these people, and they can do the intros and outros right along with all these people. And I was thinking about that sort of during my outro. I'm so fancy YouTuber. Just kind of thinking, of people at home in the many years distant future where I'm fabulously successful. Yeah. Like, knowing the words that well, that'd be cool. I don't know. These are the things that pop into my head. This is why you stay and watch the end slate.